Hello and welcome back to Excel Academy's YouTube channel. This is Ramcharan and I'm presenting the current affairs weekly update. Now, before we start with the news items, let me just remind you that our CSEET live classes have already started from 1st of August. If you are a CSEET aspirant and if you're looking for online classes, you can always contact the numbers that are given here and the executives will get in touch with you and help you to register for the classes and the course. Right. So we shall start with the first news bit for the week. So it comes from Zoom and Zoom says that India is the second largest market for the app. Now there were a lot of discussions and confusion telling that Zoom is a Chinese company and there were questions raised asking why Zoom has not been banned along with the other 59 apps. So Zoom is basically an American based app and not a Chinese based app. They have their headquarters in San Jose, California. And the person who promotes this is Eric Yes Yuan, and he is a Chinese but he is a citizen of the USC now. So this is about the Zoom app. The next big thing that happened in the week was the monetary policy, which was awaited by a lot of people. Everybody were looking at RBI and waiting what would Shaktikant Das, the RBI governor, would do. And RBI came out very clear on their stance and they told that there will be no change in the rates and repo has been constant at 4%. This is the same thing that many bankers were suggesting RBI. In fact, Deepak Parekh, the chairman of HDFC, had urged RBI not to change the rates, and RBI has not changed the rates. And there is a committee which is being set up under KV Kamath. KV Kamath led ICICI Bank for a very long time. Now he is a part of Infosys. So there is a panel which is being set and which will come out with the rules and regulations for COVID hit loans and other things. And RBI has made it very clear that banks can give extension of loans for COVID hit industries. The next news bit is again from banking sector. There are some big changes that are happening in the HDFC Bank. Jagdishan, that is Shashidharan Jagdishan, would be the new head for HDFC. He'll be taking over from Aditya Puri in the month of October. So this is a big appointment that is happening, a big change that is happening in HDFC. HDFC is one of the most valued companies in the country. Now the Q1 profits for Canara Bank is out and they have gained 406 crore rupees as their profits, and this is the first result that is coming after amalgamation. As all of us are aware, the public sector banks are being amalgamated. SBI got amalgamated, then Canara Bank, then we also had the Bank of Baroda. So all these big changes are happening. So after the amalgamation, this is the first result that Canara Bank has come out with, and they have registered a profit of 406 crore rupees. Now this is a very interesting and encouraging news that again comes from the banking sector. If you all remember, in the year 2014, August 15th, the Prime Minister of the country announced the Jan Dhan program. So Jan Dhan program basically focused on providing zero balance bank accounts to every citizen in the country. This was to promote the financial inclusion. And now we have the results on hand after 6 years, which says that 40 crore bank accounts have been opened, and this is a big stride forward when it comes to financial inclusion. And this should help India to digitalize money at a very faster pace, and we all know the advantages of digitalizing the money. So it's a big success for the Jan Dhan program. So the next news bit is about the external trade, and this is with Japan. Japan is one of the countries which India has a lot of trade contact. It is also a natural ally for India. And what is observed is there is a big balance of trade between India and Japan. The reason is very simple. If you can see here, India imports around 12.43 billion worth of goods and services from Japan, whereas it exports only 4.52 billion worth goods and services to Japan. So the whole idea is to bring in a change and to strike a balance. So the Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal, he also happens to be the Railway Minister of the country. So he has had a talks with the Japanese officials and ministers, and India and Japan are working towards striking a balance between the trade amongst the two countries. So it's a good move by the government. The job market after COVID, we all know that the whole world's economy is disturbed by the COVID and the lockdowns which the world had to undergo because of COVID. Now, there are some good news that are coming here and there. So, this news comes from the HR consultants and they tell that the job market is bouncing back. It's a good news for anybody who's looking for jobs, especially those who are freshers and for those who have been laid off. Now, there is another news that comes from Uber India and it says that it is hiring 140 engineers in India for their technical team. So, this is another good news that is coming. One by one, every company will start opening up and job opportunities will increase, and that would help economy across the world to grow and become better. This news comes from the finance sector. Of course, it comes from the finance minister herself. So, she is telling that there will be a charter that will be created. Now, what does this charter means? In simple terms, it's a system which makes sure that the taxpayers are not questioned, they are not doubted, and it is made sure they are respected. If you all remember, it was Piyush Goyal who presented the budget sometime in 2018-19 when Mr. Arun Jaitley was not well. So, for the first time, we saw a finance minister thanking the taxpayers. That was a big change in the whole culture and approach of the finance ministry towards the taxpayers. And that practice has been continued by Nirmala Sitharaman. Every year, whenever she has presented the budget, she has made it a point to thank the taxpayers. It is the taxpayers who run the finance of the country. Let's be very, very clear about it. So, non-harassment of the taxpayers, non-doubting the taxpayers is very important. So, that's why the finance ministry is working on coming out with a charter which will make sure that the honest taxpayers are not questioned. So, that's the whole idea behind this charter. Right. US relationship. Now, we know that after COVID, there are a lot of big changes that are happening across the world. Now, some time back, we had observed or sensed that the globalized world was slowly coming to an end, and countries in different ways had started closing their economies. Now, after COVID, this seems to have gained steam and countries are in a hurry to close their economies. This will happen maybe in a decade's time. That is what economists around the world are talking and discussing, and trends are there to support their thoughts. Now, if you see, India first banned 59 apps, and now we see USA also doing the same thing. USA has banned WeChat and TikTok. So, this has escalated the relationship between USA and China. In another event, USA has increased tax on the aluminium which is imported from Canada, and in retaliation, Canada is expected to increase taxes on the imports that come from USA. So, once the tax tariffs on the imports from other countries keeps increasing, that's the end of the world trade. So, the signs are there everywhere. Most of the countries are very slowly but very steadily shutting their doors for international trade. So, we just have to wait and watch where would this lead to and where would this stop. Right. The next news is from Indian Oil Corporation. This is one of the largest public sector companies that we have in the country, and this company is going for diversification. So, they are coming out with chemicals which will help in the manufacturing of polyester, and the plant will be set up in the Odisha state, and it is expected to generate somewhere around 5 million days of man days. So, that's the employment that it will generate. So, by the time the plant is set up, it will be 2024, and it is expected to produce huge quantity of raw material which will be used in the manufacturing of polyester. So, the big news that is coming, and at the right time it is coming, because we all know that today the need of the hour is generation of employment which will lead towards the reduction or elimination of poverty in the country. So, it's a great move by IOC. The COVID related news. So, general insurers flooded with COVID care claims. So, we all know that there are COVID insurance policies that are available. So, it comes under the non-life, it comes under the general insurance. So, what we see here is there is a lot of claims that are coming. It's expected, and these companies are flooded with claims. You should also be aware that there is another concept called reinsurance, like how we cover our risk with the help of insurance companies would cover their risk by approaching the reinsurers. So for sure, if things go out of hand, reinsurers will come into rescue the general insurance companies. Right. This is good news. There was a big talk, discussion, debate. To an extent, it got politicized as well. And this issue is related to the migrant workers. Migrant workers started moving away from the cities and they went and settled down in villages. And there were talks telling that they would never return to the cities, and cities will be left with no workers. So such news was making rounds. But now there is a survey and a report which comes from Press Trust of India, a credible source, which says that 2/3 of the migrant workers have either returned to cities or plan to. So a lot of them are coming back. So life should be normal in few more days or in few more months to come. Now this is something which is very, very encouraging. It says that the recovery rate in our country is 68.32%. So out of 100 people who are infected, out of that 68% of them recover. And the mortality rate in India is 2.04%, which is one of the least in the world. So this is a very encouraging news, although it is related to COVID. The next news comes from Japan again. So this is a Japanese company called the SoftBank. It is an investment company. So they invest in a lot of businesses across the world, and SoftBank has invested huge amounts of money even in India. All of us would have heard this company OYO. So OYO is actually a company which is backed by SoftBank. There are many such companies that we find across the country which are backed by SoftBank. This company is headed by a person named Makatoshi Son, and this investment banker was under loss a few months back. Now there is news telling that they have returned to the profit zone. It is a good news for the entire startup ecosystem. These are the names to remember, very, very important. The first name is Girish Chandra Murmu, and he assumes the office as CAG. Right. So this is very important from the point of view of your examination. So this name is to be remembered by you. CAG of India is Mr. Girish Chandra Murmu. And Ajay Tyagi gets a 18-month extension as SEBI chairman. This is another news which you should remember. This can be a question for all of you in the examination. Now there is a survey report which comes from RBI, and it says that consumer confidence falls to all-time low in July. This is a survey which is conducted by RBI. Now this is really discouraging in nature. There is a saying in Sanskrit which says that Dhairyam Sarvatra Sadhanam. The moment we lose that courage, we start losing everything. Now you might tell me that recession is economic in nature. Recession is psychological also. The day we lose confidence, the day we lose courage, the economy will slump further. It's always important for the society to remain confident, for the government to remain confident, and for the people to remain confident to make sure that they continue with their life and business. So this is not a great result keeping in mind the future. Let whatever has to happen, happen. Let's not lose our faith. Let's not lose our confidence. That's very important. And I hope that we all will bounce back with greater levels of confidence and make sure that our economy goes to another level. Right. News from IPL 2020. So we know that Vivo is a China company and they have decided to go out, and this year they will not be the title sponsors. So who would be the title sponsor? There are chances some of the e-commerce companies and telcos, telecommunication companies, are showing interest in becoming the title sponsors for IPL 2020, and Vivo has taken 1 year's leave. Now coming back to the kit that the Indian players carry and in the IPL and other things. So Puma has shown interest. Puma is a German accessory manufacturer. So they have shown interest, and they have also paid 1 lakh rupees to buy the application. Now, if you've heard it correctly, the application money or the application fees to bid to become one of the sponsors is 1 lakh rupees, and Puma has paid. And BCCI has also made it clear that if somebody pays the bid document amount, there is no guarantee that they'll be given the order or they are interested, but Puma has shown interest. So this is the news that is coming from IPL 2020. It is expected to happen in UAE. Right, business personalities. There are two personalities regarding whom we should know. One is Tim Cook, he is the CEO of Apple, and the other person is Bill Gates, he is the co-founder of Microsoft, and now he heads a foundation called the Melinda Gates Foundation, and he is spending a lot of money and time to make sure that vaccine is available for COVID. So these are the two personalities regarding whom, if you can read and understand more, it would be great. Now, cloud computing. So this is something which is becoming very, very popular, especially after most of the businesses going online. So we all know that Jio has signed with Microsoft's Azure. The Microsoft company's cloud computing product is called Azure, Azure. And now Airtel is in talks with AWS. AWS stands for Amazon Web Services for their cloud systems. Now, in the last week, when we discussed the news bits, I had told you about Satya Nadella. Satya Nadella heads Microsoft. Satya Nadella was the man behind Microsoft's Azure. He comes from technology background and not from sales background. Although he came from technology background, he was selected to become the CEO of Microsoft. Anyway, let's proceed ahead. Some of the interesting government policies. So, cross-holding caps likely for OTT telcos. So, this comes in the wake of many big companies like Facebook and Google investing on platforms like that of Jio, and this cross section investment is where one telecommunication company will invest on another telecommunication company, or one telecommunication company will invest on a platform like that of Jio. So when this continues, a new type of business that is happening in the world. So for this, right types of rules and regulations are to be brought in place. So that's what the government is working on. This is basically to make sure that there are no monopolies. Let's take this as an example. Now, Jio has a lot of money. Facebook alone has invested around 43,500 crores on Jio, and all other companies put together, they have around 100 crore rupees with them. So what happens is, with all that money, they can go and buy other telecommunication companies and other platforms, but the brand name remains the same, and this leads to monopoly. So this is against the practice. India doesn't want to have monopolies, and there is a body called the Competition Commission of India which works towards making sure the competition is in the level field and there are no monopolies. So that is why this law is expected to come anytime soon. Right. Then we have Mr. Gadkari batting for social microfinance institutions. So these are institutions which will be monitored and regulated by RBI, and government will not have any role to play. So these companies will go to the poorest of the poor sections of the society and give them money and make sure that they start something on their own and they become self-reliant. So Nitin Gadkari is batting for that. Another interesting news is Railways has introduced something called the Kisan Special Trains. These trains will have cold storage system. So this will help farmers to make sure that their produce doesn't get decayed in transit. There is an objective with which Indian government is working, where they want to double the farmers' income. That's a clear objective with which the agricultural policies are being framed in the country, and this move by Railways would definitely help government in achieving their objective. This is another important news that comes from government. They are telling that they have already trained a lot of agri startups, and they are ready to fund more than 234 agri startups, and the funding is in the tune of 25 crore rupees. This is a great news for the agricultural sector. Now, Ayodhya was in news last week. This was a battle which was fought for more than 130 years, the legal battle which was fought for more than 130 years. And the Ayodhya Temple Trust has been given the land, and the Bhumi Pujan was conducted by Prime Minister Narendra Modi last week, and we can have the temple maybe in 1 year's time. So that's the big news that comes from Ayodhya. Now, after this, Railways has sanctioned 104 crore rupees for the facelift of the Ayodhya railway station. As all of us are aware that a lot of people would go to Ayodhya and to visit the temple, and Railways is one of the important transport systems that we have, and Railways has already taken some proactive steps to make sure that the railway station gets the facelift. Subcompact SUVs. So SUV stands for sports utility vehicle, and in the last week update we had seen that Kia has sold 1 lakh units in India, with just 2 variants. Now they are coming out with another variant called the Kia Sonet. So this is a subcompact SUV. There was another report in the newspaper which was telling that the subcompact SUVs are becoming more popular. So that's the latest trend today, and Kia has understood the trend well and they have released a car. So this is the last news bit. So there was no other choice but had to end the news series on a sad note. It is very unfortunate that a plane crashed in Kozhikode. It was flying from Dubai. It had 190 passengers, and unfortunately, due to the technical issues in the plane, the captain had no control, and finally the plane dropped from the tabletop airstrip, and around 18 to 20 people passed away, and a lot of them were left injured. It's very, very unfortunate. In India, there are few airports which have the tabletop air landing facility like Mangalore and Kozhikode. So it's very, very unfortunate that the plane fell around 35 feet from the tabletop airstrip to the valley, and people lost their life, and even the captain who was flying the plane also lost his life. It's very sad. It happened. Let's hope that such things do not occur in future. So with this, we come to the end of this week's update. See you soon with more updates next Monday at 7 p.m. Hope you liked the news update. If you want us to add something, if you have any queries, you can please post it in the group, and do let us know if you have liked the news update. Thank you very much.